نحمده ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم عليه. All praise be to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, our Master, our Creator, the ever loving, the ever relentless, the ever merciful, the ever loving, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. Abundant salutations be upon the best creation and the best manifestation of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, who is the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We send salutations upon his pure companions and upon his pure household. For all those people who attended, who took time out to be here today, my mothers, my sisters, my friends, my siblings, my aunties, I welcome you all and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I officially start my talk, I just want to talk a bit about the Madrasa. So this Madrasa was established in 2016, but official classes started in 2019. So we have the Darsin Nizami classes, we have two sisters Darsin Nizami classes running, the intermediate class and the higher class, and we also have a boys Darsin Nizami class as well. In conjunction to the Darsin Nizami classes, we also have short courses running, and also have the weekly men's gathering. And in conjunction to all of this, there's a lot of work which happens behind the scenes as well. So we like to ask you to please carry on supporting us in the future. There's some QR codes, so please scan them on your way out so you can just stay updated on future events and so forth. Our target audience today is the youth and it's the youngsters. And alhamdulillah, like my auntie touched on before, she said it's really nice to see the young people here. The sisters before me, they spoke about different things. They talked about the Quran. They talked about the seal of the prophethood. They talked about the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They talked about the awliya. They talked about the rank and the status of others. So it's really important that we keep all this information in mind. Why? Whatever we have learned today, whether it was something that we already knew or something which is new to us, it's very important we keep this in mind. Why? This brings us to the last and final subject of today. And the last and final topic of today brings all of this together in a nutshell. And the topic of my talk is Gaza, Palestine, and awakening. So the people of Palestine, I don't need to stand before you and tell you what's happening. Why don't I need to tell you? Because you already know what's happening there. And the Nakba, it never started in 1949, 1948. It started before 1948 and it is still carried out to this day. It never stopped, it never came to a halt, no, it ever came to an end. The people of Palestine, they're struggling financially, physically, emotionally, mentally. But the only difference now is, what's the difference? It's evident for the entire world to see. We've got access on it on our phones, TV, news. We know exactly what's happening right now in real time. We know what's happening. There's many examples I can give to you about what's happening in Palestine and isolate. I can do that. But the fact of the matter is, you already know what's happening. Let me just give you a short example and a short reminder. Who knows who Reem was? Reem and her grandfather Khalid. So there was a grandfather, he had a granddaughter, her name was Reem, and he loved her more than himself, and he would refer to her as the soul of my soul. That's how he would refer to her. And he loved her very much, as any grandfather would. He said, I held her, when she passed away, he goes, it was almost as if she was asleep, just like a baby, she was asleep. And he goes, I kissed her eyelids. Now put yourself in that position. Those of you who have got children, if something happens to your child, if they're in, what happens to you? The parent gets upset. We can't tolerate it. We can't take anything. Whether if the child is small, whether the child is 20, whether the child is 50, no parent can take any suffering towards a child. So how do you think they will feel? And the fact of the matter is, I can stand here and talk about all these incidents, but I'll be here forever speaking about that. And whatever's happening in Palestine, it's not only touched the Muslims, it's touched the non-Muslims alike. So not only has it evoked an emotion within the Muslim community, but it's evoked an emotion within the non-Muslim community as well. And the people of Palestine, they're not no ordinary people. They are no ordinary people. They are a free people. They are a people who are special, and they're special like no other. And they are people who are in close proximity to their Lord. They have a faith like no other. They are honored people, a sanctified people, a blessed people. Then those are people that they thank Allah when they have nothing. That's the level of taqwa and proximity that they have with Allah. And they have the highest level of loyalty and obedience to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And they are the only people in the world right now who actually have true freedom. And you know, when I talk about freedom, I'm not on about where you can travel physically. Freedom is not associated or linked where you can travel to. No. True freedom lies in the mentality and the spirituality of a person. It's not linked or associated with physical travel, bodily travel. So if you think about free people, it's actually we who are enslaved and they who are free. They have channeled the world to believe in justice, and they have delivered a new hope, a resilience, and a new spring. And the people have been transformed, and they have been influenced and affected by the Palestinians. And despite whatever they've been going through, they have been given the call to Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They have given the call to wake up, and they have given the call to turn back. And alhamdulillah, the world is now slowly, eventually, they are waking up. People are more aware, people are more alert. But have we awoken fully? Have we fully awoken from our slumber? What do we need to do now as an ummah? Ultimately wake up, what do we need to do? So, fourth verse of the Quran. So, firstly, Allah clearly says in the Quran, say the enjoyment of the world is little. And the word Allah uses is qaleel, which means little, small, minute, minor, infinite. And another ayat Allah clearly states is, and it is with Allah who is the best abode. The best abode. So Allah Ta'ala is telling us in both of these verses and analyzing and scrutinizing both these verses collectively. Allah Ta'ala is telling us that, is it not better for us that we submit collectively and entirely to Allah Jalla Jalaluhu? Why do we not chase after that beloved, which is eternal and everlasting, which is Allah Jalla Jalaluhu? Why is it not that we put Allah in the forefront of everything and the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the forefront of everything in our lives? Why do we not wake up despite what is happening in Gaza, Palestine and other parts of the world? Why do we not wake up despite knowing the truth and the reality? Here I would like to narrate a short incident, a short story from the Mathnavi of Hazrat Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi Rahmatullah Alayhi. So for those of you who know who Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi is, you know that he is a scholar and he is a saint, and often people know him as Rumi. But actually he was a Sufi saint. So I'm going to give you a short story from the Mathnavi of Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. Also, just to mention here, Hazrat Allama Shaykh Alauddin Siddiqui Sahab delivered lectures on the Mathnavi Sharif. So, can everyone please give me your attention and please listen to this. So, there was a man, he had a parrot as a pet. So, those of you who's got pets here, put your hands up. Okay, for those of you who got pets, you know the pet is almost like a family member. So, like any other pet, he also had a lot of love and affection towards his bird, his parrot, his Ruji. So he took a lot of care for it and he nurtured it, looked after it, and made sure it had everything that it needed, and it used to reside in the cage. One day what happened is, a flock of birds came and hovered around the cage of birds. They came and hovered there. They came for some time, then they left. Afterwards, what happened was, when the man came back, unfortunately, what he had realized is, he acknowledged that his bird, his parrot, his budgie had died. It was lifeless, it was motionless, the wings were not moving, they were not fluttering. He was lifeless, motionless, and stationary, and he realized that now it had passed on, he passed away. So even now, he could have buried it, put it to the ground, to still have his respect and love and honor towards the bird. He didn't want to do that, so he threw it towards the tree. He said, it'll still be more respectful than it being on the floor. So what he did was, he got the bird, he got the parrot, and he threw it towards the tree. What do you think happened then? The bird started to flutter. So when it started to flutter, the man said, "Oh bird, you had died." To which the bird replied, "Yes, I had died." Then again the man said, "Oh bird, you had died. How is it so that you are alive?" So now the parrot, he's narrating this. He says, I used to reside in the cage. One day a flock of birds came and hovered around me. So this is the plot point, so please pay attention. He's now telling the story of what happened. Because I was in the cage and a flock of birds came and they hovered around the cage. They came and hovered around the cage and they said to me that, "We are your friends, we are your advisors. As long as you are alive, you will be caged and you will be confined and you will be imprisoned in the four walls of this cage. And it is not until you die, O friend, where you will become truly alive. So in order to live, O friend, you must die." And Maulana Rumi is saying, "Band bugzil, bash azad hai fisar, jand bashi, band simo, band zar." That is the Farsi text. He says, "O son, O child, break the shackles of the world, be free, be free, be free." So the fact of the matter is, you've all heard the story. The fact of the matter is, the story is not about the man, no, it's about the parrot. It's not a story about a Gucci and a pet and a man, no. This story is an analogy to the human soul returning back to Allah spiritually. That is what the analogy is. So what Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi is saying is that we need to break the barriers of the world and excel in the path of God. And that is the only way we will be successful intellectually, academically, spiritually, and eradicate our desires, turning back to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only then we can break the shackles of the world. And what Maulana Rumi furthermore is trying to illustrate is break the shackles, turn back to God, create an open mind and break the limitations through knowledge and wake up from this slumber. And as Allama Iqbal says, "उकाबी रूह जब बेदार होती है जवानों में, उकाबी रूह जब बेदार होती है जवानों में, नजर आती है उनको अपनी मंजिल आसमानों में." In a nutshell means the sky is your limit. The sky is your limit. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. I will leave it there inshallah, and I make dua that Allah Ta'ala gives us all the tawfiq to act upon what we have learned and to really and truly contemplate on what we have learned today and wake up from this number. Have we not struggled enough? Have we not learned the hard way? Have we not learned back the hard way? So it's now time to wake up from our slumbers. And we leave it there inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.